We only care for what we love, and we only love what we know, and we only truly know what we experience. So what's the very first thing I think you should do? I think you should cultivate wonder, because if you are wondering at something, I know you're experiencing it. If you're experiencing it, you might have a chance to develop a love for it. If you love it, that suggests you, or sorry, if you're experiencing it, then you will know it. If you know it, you might come to love it. And if you love it, there's a chance you'll care for it. So cultivating wonder, I think, is the very first thing, partly because of that sort of reverse engineering. It can lead, at least, ultimately to care. But there's another reason, and maybe an even more important reason. And for this, I want to point to another quote on this. It's on the second column. It's the third quote from the top, and it's by G.K. Chesterton. I'm going to read this because it's one of my very most favorites. And we used this as part of the birth announcement for Jared when he was first born. How am I going to introduce this? I've already pointed you to it, so I'm going to read it and then I'm going to talk about it. Because children have abounding vitality, because they are in spirit fierce and free, therefore they want things repeated and unchanged. They always say, "Do it again." And the grown-up person does it again until he is nearly dead. I don't know if you have any little ones in your life, but if you do, you're probably familiar with that dynamic. For grown-up people are not strong enough to exult in monotony. But perhaps God is strong enough to exult in monotony. It is possible that God says every morning, "Do it again," to the sun, and every evening, "Do it again," to the moon. It may not be automatic necessity that makes all daisies alike. It may be that God makes every daisy separately, but he's never got tired of making them. It may be that he has the eternal appetite of infancy. For we have sinned and grown old, and our Father is younger than we. The repetition in nature may not be mere reoccurrence. It may be theatrical encore. I love this quote. I love what he's capturing here. And it reminds me so much of two things. One, do you remember the moment, or do you remember, I'm remembering again, I know it's too much about my kids, but my kids were little and they were in like kindergarten, and it was the day to bring something for show and tell. And it was the stuffy or the soccer ball or the picture they drew or whatever. And, you know, we hop onto the chariot. In those days, I actually was commuting by bicycle, and, you know, a chariot, you know, one of those carts, you pull them behind. And so they'd hop into the chariot, and I hop on the bike, and we're headed to the school, and they're just so excited. "Dad, are we there yet? I want to share my thing." Like, you know, and they get all excited about what they get to share. To me, that is exactly the picture I get when I think of Genesis 2. And there's this picture of God who brings all the creatures to the human one, Adam, and says, "Name them." And my picture is that God is there. "I can't wait. Suddenly there's somebody who can appreciate this thing that has this huge big trunk and has such big strong legs, and I can't wait for somebody else to like enjoy this with me. What are they going to name it?" It's an elephant. "Okay, an elephant. That's good. That's a good name. How about this one?" Like, and you know, it's it's a chicken. Like, yeah, they see how they hop around and they peck at everything. Aren't they so crazy? Or, "Oh, this one's gonna blow their mind. Like, it changes colors. If you looked at it from this side and from this side, it changes colors. What are they gonna call that?" "It's a chameleon." Or like, "Okay, this time he's not gonna know what to do with himself because this is a mix of like a duck bill and like a beaver tail, and like it lays eggs and yet it's got fur, and like he's just not going to know what to do with that." And he comes up with platypus or whatever. And I get this sense of like, I actually think every time I discover something. So on the trail yesterday, a couple of people were walking down the trail and they looked at that flower right there, a foxglove. I don't know if it was the first time you've seen a foxglove, but say it was. The first time you see a foxglove, I think the spirit is right there with you. Yes, it's a foxglove, and yes, it is beautiful. Have you noticed how they're shaped like a bell? And I think back to the moment when I was studying chemistry. I'm in undergrad and we're studying various aspects of chemistry. And I remember coming home one day and I just was gushing to my mother, who doesn't know much about chemistry, but she loves me, so she tolerated it. And I'm gushing about, Mom, it's mind-boggling. Light is both a wave and a particle. How can it be both? It's just amazing. It's both. I don't know if you know anything about wave-particle duality, but this is a thing in science. And what I have come to believe is I think it's not just when Einstein first discovered wave-particle duality. It's when Rick realized wave-particle duality. It's when Brandon discovers the taste of a blackberry, or Kara for the first time notices the hint of color on a sapsucker's head. I think the Spirit is sitting there right beside us, just like in the garden. And it's just so excited, just like the GK testing room. Perhaps God is like exalting in the way that creation is beautiful and marvelous. And when we then cultivate wonder and awe, it is not just that we are participating with God, we are imitating God. We are becoming God-like. We are becoming Christ-like, the one who invited us to consider the lilies, attend to the birds of the air. I think at those moments are ways in which we become Christ-like. And of course, it also has this knock-on effect of it might lead to, experience leads to knowing, which might lead to love, which might lead to care.